Hey guys, my name's Alberto, aka Destroyer 48. Welcome to my Destroyer movie channel. Subscribe, like, and share, and comment, and blah blah blah. Who cares? F the world. F stands for forget the world and all the corruption that's in it. All right, guys. Today we're gonna go over the film Never Back Down. It's an MMA movie. Sorry, I don't have MMA gloves. I don't even have the MMA. I'm gonna have a boxing glove. Let me see something here. Um, anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be going over the Never Back Down movie. Um, hey guys, if you could take a second to press the like button, it'd be cool. You subscribe to the channel, it'll be awesome. All right, well, let me go over these guys. Right here, you got in the front, you got Jake Gridiron Tyler. You got this guy Ryan McCarthy. You got Joan Rucco. That's Tyler's teacher. And you got Baha Miller. That's dating McCarthy, but later on we'll date Jake Tyler, as we'll go into. All right, so let's get started, shall we? Uh, so we got Jake Tyler, his brother Charlie, and their mother. They live in Ohio, and they just recently lost their Charlie and Jake just lost their father, and of course Jake's mom just lost her husband. So they're gonna move to Orlando, and Jake had a little brother named Charlie. I don't know. Charlie's like 14. Jake is like either 17 or 18. And in the beginning, they do show that Jake is playing football, and it's raining, and it's a football game, of course, and it shows that Jake is having problems with the other team, and somebody is saying something bad about Jake's dad, and Jake gets mad, takes the other guy's helmet off, and knocks him out with a punch. So, and then now we got that, of course he's gonna take it hard because Jake just lost his dad. Um, we'll get into later on how Jake Tyler lost his father. Um, so then we get to their house, and Jake's mom's getting after Jake's and his dad. I'm sorry. The coach called Jake's mom saying he's been fighting again, and Jake's mom is getting on Jake about fighting. So now they're gonna move to Orlando because Jake's little brother Charlie is he's an inspiring tennis player, and supposedly he's real good. So they're gonna move to Orlando. So they all take out to Orlando, and Jake has his first day of school. They have an apartment. Jake's mom's a waitress, and then it's shown that Jake's like eating by himself at the football stadium, and he takes his lunch to eat out there by himself. Then he comes back, and underneath the bleachers at the football stadium, Jake gets he gets to see Ryan McCarthy and his two goons that are with him, other students, and one of Ryan McCarthy's friends is fighting another kid named Max, and Max seems to be getting the worst part of the end of the stick, because Max is getting beat up by the other guy, and Jake thinks they're picking on Max, but Jake, it's actually like kind of like an exhibition, but they're fighting for real. I don't know how to explain it. They're just fighting. I guess Max is trying to show his skills, and Jake interferes and say, "Hey, leave him alone." Like, no, it's all sanctioned. Max is like, I got this, bro." And Max continues to fight. Then Jake heads back to school, back to his classes. Jake does meet a real pretty blonde girl named Baha Miller, and they start talking. They're in class. After class, Baha Miller um, invites Jake to after school. Invites him to a party. Jake goes to the party, and the party's thrown by Ryan McCarthy. Ryan McCarthy's has a big house. They're rich. He's rich. They have pools, and then Ryan McCarthy runs into Jake, or Jake actually runs into Ryan McCarthy, and then Ryan McCarthy says, "No, we don't want none of this American Pie stuff where there's girls in the pool and everything." Ryan McCarthy wants to show Jake all the fights they have. They have fights outside and a little bit away from the party. Then Ryan McCarthy tempts Jake to, "Hey, let's fight." They want to put on gloves. Jake doesn't want nothing to do with it. And then it shows that Baha Miller is Ryan McCarthy's current girlfriend. And Ryan starts taunting Jake, bringing up the thing about his dad. They've researched about Jake, I guess, and they found out that they know that Jake lost his dad to in a car accident, and Jake let his dad drive drunk, and they got a car accident, and Jake feels guilty about it. Ryan brings that out and tells Jake, and that's where Jake gets mad and puts the boxing gloves on. They start fighting, and Ryan McCarthy beats the crap out of Jake, and because it's like showing off an MMA thing. Jake doesn't know that much about MMA. He just knows boxing. He just likes to throw punches. Where Ryan McCarthy's gonna use his full arsenal submissions, the boxing, or in the kickboxing, the kicks and everything's combined. So he's obviously gonna beat Jake in the fight, which he does, and beats him up real bad. Jake is taking home black and blue. Jake did one good punch and punched Ryan McCarthy in the face, but he had swiped somebody's glass, and the drink spilled in McCarthy's face, temporarily blinding him, and that's where Jake punches him. But nonetheless, McCarthy really beats up Jake, and Max is the one that takes Jake in the car all beat up and takes him to the house, and Jake is all messed up. Max sees potential in Jake, says he can bang. Max visits Jake at the house. Jake says, Max is like, "What are you gonna do, man?" And Jake's like, "Nothing." And Jake had previously shown some video to Jake from his phone about his teacher, John Roca. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. And because Max goes to school with John Roca, who teaches MMA classes. First, Jake says no. Then Jake heads on to the school where Roca is teaching at, and Jake Roca has a class, and Max is helping Jake out through the process, but it says that at that time that class is by the expert class, or the senior class kind of deal, and Roka's like um, telling Jake, you should go to the beginning class with Max. And he's like, no, I'm a fast learner. Let me do it. So Roka lets Jake into the school, and Jake participates in the expert class. And Max is helping him out, and they're doing a whole bunch of different drills, weightlifting, and how about I say aerobics, and all these MMA and stuff. And there's a part where Jake is able to spar with one of the other kids, and the guy chokes out Jake. Jake doesn't want to tap out, choke out. So Jake starts attending the classes. Um, and there's some other parts where Jake will run into McCarthy again. Once in there's like some I don't know what it is, some kind of swimming park, or I don't know what. Let me get to that in a little bit, but there is a part where Jake is still carrying the anger of the death of his dad. There's one time where Max is with Jake in Max's car. Max has a real nice muscle car, and there's like I don't know, it's like an ATV or a big Jeep, and there's like three or four guys in it. I think they hit the back of Max's cars, and like Max is like telling Jake to be cool. Jake is getting angry. The guys in the car get out and want to fight with they kind of like want to see, like they want to fight with Jake, and Jake's like, you have a problem? They're like, you have a problem? And then Jake actually beats them all up with using his new MMA moves, kicking them and slamming on the street, all that. And Max starts videotaping it with his camera. And the school gets bound to this because in this film, it's like everything's on the internet. It goes real quick. And they all start sharing Max puts it on the internet, and all the students at school, shows everybody at the school's looking at it. And then now we get to the water park, and Ryan McCarthy meets up with Jake in the restroom. He's seen that everybody's impressed by Jake's new martial arts moves, and Ryan McCarthy takes him down in the restroom. Sounds funny, right? And actually has Jake's arm. Jake's on the floor, and McCarthy stretching out his arm, and Ryan McCarthy tells Jake, I'm not impressed by your new moves and all that. Not even a little. Jake continues to train. John Roku, Jake's teacher, had told him, I better not see you fighting or you're out. That's one rule. Outside of the gym, or you're gonna get kicked out. Roku found out that Jake was fighting. He kicks him out. There's a point where Max and Jake are in the car. They're trying to get Jake back in the gym. They have to wait for John Roku to leave his martial arts school, which he rarely does. Have to wait for him, and then Joe Roku finally goes to the store and buys some fruits and vegetables or something, and Jake talks his way back in, and Roku says, I'm not going to give you a chance. Jake is still training. There's a point where Baja Miller, the hot blonde chick, starts going to Jake's house. She likes him, and she actually dumps Ryan McCarthy at school, which became a whole big scene. Now there is a thing called the beatdown that Max had shown Jake, and the beatdown the way it works is like some kind of tournament. I don't know if you want to say sanctioned or unsanctioned. I guess it'd be unsanctioned. And Jake's like, how do you get invited? And And Max says, well, they send everybody a text where the location at the last minute, and that's how everybody's gonna show up. Ryan McCarthy wants Jake to show up at the beat down, and he wants Jake to get into it. There's people out there even say that Jake now can kick Ryan McCarthy's butt. So Ryan McCarthy, what he's gonna do is he's gonna try to entice Jake to get into the beatdown. So what happens is Max is in his car after a class, and then McCarthy comes in his vehicle and says, "Hey, come with us to my house and we'll hang out. Show us your moves or something from Roku. What John Roku's touching." And Max is like, "No," he's gonna go in his car, and then Ryan McCarthy's like, "No, come with us." So Max goes into Ryan McCarthy's car with his friends. Roku sees this and yells out, "Max, Max!" Max doesn't hear him because Roku knows that Ryan McCarthy's bad news. And so Max took off with Ryan McCarthy to their house. So now the scene is set. We're at Ryan McCarthy's house. And some of Ryan McCarthy's friends are like showing off the kicks and everything. And then Ryan McCarthy gets up and starts hitting Max hard, and Max is like saying, "Dude, I don't have no gear." And then Ryan McCarthy beats up Max. Baja Miller and Jake and Charlie, they're at Jake's apartment. And Ryan McCarthy's friends beat up Max. They drop him off on the sidewalk near Jake's house. Jake and Baja, they leave Charlie, but they're gonna go take Max to the hospital. And then now Jake knows he has to fight in the beatdown, and John Roku finds out about this, and he gets mad at Jake, and John Roku finally tells Jake why he has that rule no fighting outside the gym. It turns out that John Roku came from Brazil, and John Roku John Roku kicks butt at MMA, but he also John Roku explains to Jake, "Yeah, I had a brother that was way better than me. He was an MMA fighter, and his brother got in a confrontation in a bar, and with some other guy, and John Roku's brother beat up this guy really bad, but the guy came back with some guys and a gun and shot and killed John Roku's brother. So that's why John Roku has that rule of no fighting outside the gym." And John Roku's like, "Jake, I let you get away with that rule of fighting once, not anymore." And Jake's like, "Well, not doing anything is bad too, because McCarthy can do something to his new girlfriend Baja Miller or his brother Charlie. So he's got to do we got to do something sometimes." And then Roku's like, "Okay, go do it, go fight, but you change the outcome." So everybody has gotten messages for the beatdown, and even Jake's mom knows about the fighting. She got after him one time finding gloves in his bag, but she lets him go fight too. So Jake is off to the beatdown, And McCarthy's there. Everybody gets there. All the people are there. It's at a building. There's people with motorcycles and nice cars outside. And so they're gonna. So it looks like it's gonna be the first fight. Jake the Gridiron Tyler versus Ryan McCarthy. They're about to have the first fight, and it turns out that there's a DJ there, and he's calling the matches. Who's gonna fight who? Turns out that McCarthy. The Jake name, it was somebody else's name. It wasn't Jake. So McCarthy's gonna start fighting this other guy in the first match, and McCarthy's like, "I'll deal with you later." They go through the beatdown. Jake fights a fighter that really messed up his ribs. Either punched him or kneed him or something in the ribs. So Jake is icing his ribs in a back room or something. Uh, Baja Miller, the blonde bombshell, pretty chick, goes to go talk with Jake. Ryan McCarthy's having some matches, but so far Jake has won all his matches, and Ryan McCarthy's won his matches. But Ryan McCarthy's in a fight, and the guy's playing possum. He like gets on. He's playing defense where he's actually on the floor with his back exposed just on the floor. Ryan's having a hard time getting a fight, and then Ryan McCarthy did something to his eyes. Poked his eye or something, and the referee, I think, gave the fight to McCarthy, but finds out that Ryan McCarthy cheated and grilled his finger into the guy's eye. So the referee claims that he reverses it and says the other guy's the winner. And due to this, Ryan McCarthy being disqualified, so Ryan McCarthy disqualified, disqualified himself. Now it's time to Jake to go fight somebody, and then Jake taps out on the mat because he finds out that Ryan McCarthy's disqualified. Jake walks outside into the parking lot. Ryan McCarthy goes after him, and Jake's like, "There's no need to fight now." He tells McCarthy. McCarthy's like, "No, you need to fight or something." And then Jake says, "Look, there's nobody in the parking lot. You're not gonna get any credit for this fight because there's nobody here to see you." And then Ryan McCarthy gets mad and starts attacking Jake, and they start fighting on the parking lot. And then some people see the fight outside, and they start calling everybody from inside the building to come out and come see the Tyler McCarthy fight outside in the parking lot. And there's actually two fighters fighting for the championship or something, and everybody doesn't even see them anymore. They all run outside, which is pretty wild. Jake and Ryan McCarthy are fighting outside. Some pretty good moves. I think they slam somebody into a car. Somebody gets hit in the ribs with knees and everything. They throw the kicks, the punches, everything. Baja Miller's like, "Oh no, what's happening now?" And then Jake finally gives some punches to McCarthy, and then gives him the big kick, knocking McCarthy out. Jake wins the match. And then he's hugging Baja Miller. At the end, they show they're back at that water park. That's what it's called. And Ryan McCarthy has a new girlfriend in his vehicle, and Jake, gives a nod to McCarthy that now there's respect between them. And that's the way the movie ends. And so Jay gets the girl at the end. He gets Tyler McCarthy, and Ryan McCarthy gets a brunette kind of girl. That's the way it ends. Um, this movie, this movie's awesome. I really like it. Um, they show that's Max. He's always videotaping fights. Or John Roku, Max and right here, Max and Jake's teacher. There's Ryan McCarthy fighting right there. There's right here Jake throwing punches at Roku training. One of my favorite parts, there is. We'll go over some parts I didn't go over. There was a part where Baha Miller's in Jake's room and she's like has the MMA gloves on. She's like throwing little baby punches at Jake, just flirting and stuff. That was pretty cool. Charlie walks onto him. It was intense where Ryan McCarthy beats up Max at the house. Unfortunately, they send Max to the hospital. They drop him off at Jake's apartment, and they have to take Baha Miller and Jake leaving Charlie alone. They have to take Max to the hospital. I ain't talk too much about Jake's mom. She's working a lot. Now she's a widow, and she has to be waitressing and pay the bills and stuff. They have I like the training scenes. It's really cool. We're doing training exercises and stuff for MMA fighters. They show Roku and Jake doing a whole bunch of stuff, hitting tires with a hammer and throwing bricks and really cool stuff like that. If you like training, you'll like this movie. There's gonna be some classroom scenes. That's where Jake met Baha at the same class. Pretty interesting stuff. There's part of the story where they say that Ryan McCarthy's dad's a real tough ass and wants humiliate Ryan McCarthy in front of his friends. His friends will go in for pool parties or whatever. The party scene is the best scene ever. That's where they go to Ryan McCarthy's house. Everybody's partying outside in the pool, and then they have the fights. And then they have the fight like inside the house or something. But it's a real beautiful house. That's like the thing. It's like that's one of the best scenes is the party and then the beatdown tournament later on. The beatdown tournament is awesome because a lot of the fighters they'll do flips and stuff and they'll hold their bodies up with one hand, well, like one arm or one hand on the floor or whatever. And that's really cool. Some will do flips in the air. The fights are okay. They're pretty good. I like when Ryan McCarthy does his entrance at the beatdown. He's like hugging girls and going like this, like doing the hands, like not shaking their hands, but I don't know. He was being very, what is it called? Flamboyant. Yeah, when that's sad. It is sad when Max gets beat up, and then when Jake got beat up at the party, that was sad. Then Roku, you have the Roku being their teacher, not just teaching them about like. Oh yeah, at the end they show Roku goes back to visit his dad because his dad had told Roku when they killed his brother that both his sons died that night. So Roku never wanted to see his dad, but now it shows him at the end buying a plane ticket to go see his dad. I almost forgot that in Brazil. To go see his dad in Brazil. I almost forgot that part. The soundtrack is awesome. They have some really good. I don't know. The movie came out early 2000s, maybe. The soundtrack is awesome. It has all that good 90s kind of rap and club music and all. That's really cool. So I need a grade this for every get, but the soundtrack I'll give it an A+++. And the movie I give it my highest rating at A+++. It's not a raunchy movie. It's funny because the part with when Jake's Jake's mom goes into to Jake's bag to find, again, she's gonna find something bad. You kind of get that feeling like she's gonna find drugs. She's gonna find drugs there. No, they're MMA gloves, and she knows with that she does not want Jake fighting, so she gives him a lot of hack, and like in the beginning of the movie, in the middle, she does not want him fighting. She Jake, it does show Jake, and Roku didn't give the classes for free, but it's funny because Jake and Jake's mom offered to pay, um, gave money, checks, and all that or money. Jake gave money to Roku to take the classes, and Jake's mom gave him a check for 3 months or something, or 2 months or something like that. The school's all cool. It's all in Orlando. It's a big school. They have a whole bunch of buses. Max is funny, and I've already went a long time, so I can probably even go longer, but I'm gonna stop there. Um, Remember, if you have not seen this movie, I give it the best ever. Probably ruined it for you or anything. No, it didn't ruin it for you. This is a movie review. I'm explaining to it from the beginning to the end. Um, so I really recommend you watch this movie. Never Back Down. I really liked it. I remember seeing the previews. Really cool. Go check out the previews. It may probably make you want to watch it more. There is a Never Back Down Part 2. I'm waiting to see that. I have not seen that one at all. Well, no, I did see online. I saw a very little piece. I saw like Max coming out of some gym or something. But other than that, I don't know nothing about the movie. I think McCarthy and Jake don't come out. I don't even know, dude. Baja Roku come. I bet you anything, none of them come out. The only one probably Max. But like I said, I have not seen the whole movie, so I'm just a betting man. But I don't know I don't know who comes out on that other one. I can't wait to watch that one. Supposedly, I read in Wikipedia a little bit that McCarthy comes back, but not this guy that plays McCarthy. Will be another one. Somebody playing the same role. I've already went too long, so I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Again, for the last time, I recommend y'all watch. It's really good. I gave it my highest marks, and I'm gonna tell you this. Leave you with this. The world will never be a perfect place, but we could make it. We could all make it better. Till next time. My name's Alberto, AK Destroyer 48, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.